Welcome to the world of Nintendo, a world that's filled with games and characters that allows any person to be who they want to be while they conquer any army that puts up a fight against them. This report will explore the inner workings of Nintendo's operation. We will go in depth about the current external environment, which covers the economy, social-cultural trends, political and legal issues, and technology changes. We will discuss the gaming industry and give a competitive analysis of the market. We will discuss the firm and Nintendo's goals and objectives and mission. We will discuss the current marketing strategy. We'll give a SWOT analysis, and we'll discuss the management team.
The financial crisis of 2008 caused a tremendous slowdown in the global economy. This impacted the video games industry because consumers began to limit the amount of money spent on leisure activities. From 2008 to 2012, industry revenue averaged an annual decline of 1.7%. The industry is gradually beginning to regain momentum, with 2012 revenue projected to be $34.2 billion and 2017 revenue to be $44.7 billion. Industry value add is expected to grow at 6% from 2007 to 2017, compared to GDP growth of 1.9% over the same 10-year period. Another economic factor that impacts the video games industry is fluctuating currency value. As an example, 80% of Nintendo sales comes from overseas sales. The fluctuation in foreign exchange rates will have a direct influence on earnings when foreign currencies are converted to Japanese yen. Japanese yen appreciation against the US dollar or euro would have a negative impact on Nintendo's profitability. The video games industry is in the growing stage of the life cycle. The average age of game players is 30 and has been playing for 12 years. The largest growing demographic is women over the age of 18. During the late 1990s to early 2000s, women seemed to be comfortable playing games marketed towards men, but recent developments in game design and marketing have opened up potential markets in this demographic. The first video gamers are now over the age of 40 and some are approaching 50. New markets will open up for this demographic as well as publishers begin to design games for these players. Nintendo has already begun this with the release of the DS Brain Age. The video games industry is publicly viewed as a contributor to the childhood obesity epidemic, but with the growing popularity of gaming systems like Nintendo Wii, many schools are experimenting with exergaming, a combination of exercise and video game technology. The idea is to make being active fun. Some popular exergames are Dance Dance Revolution, Zumba Fitness, and Wii Fit. A common controversial topic about video games is that they increase violent behavior of children and young adults. However, federal crime statistics suggest serious violent crimes among youth have fallen since 1996 as video sales have climbed. A study conducted by Chris Ferguson, now impressed with Journal of Psychiatric Research, followed 165 10 to 14-year-old boys and girls over a 3-year period and found no link between violent video games and aggression. Due to concerns about video games, governments across the globe have constituted or tried to pass legislation that would regulate or ban video games. On June 27, 2011, the U.S. Supreme Court ruled in favor of the EMA-ESA, striking down a 2005 California statute that would have regulated the sale of violent computer and video games to minors. The court ruled that video games are protected under the First Amendment. In response to consumer and political backlash, the video games industry began to put video games rating systems in place. The ratings help consumers discern what type of content is in the video game. The rating systems also reflect that not all video games are targeted at young children. The shift of the industry is online distribution, but there is hesitancy to do so because of the concern of piracy. Digital rights management software has been developed to prevent piracy, but it depreciates the quality of the product. In 2008, Nintendo asked the U.S. to address video game piracy problems worldwide. The firm pointed out China as the primary source of manufacturing piracy, but Korea as the leader in illegal online distribution. Cloud gaming is the future of the video games industry. Games-on-demand service providers like Otoy, OnLive, and Gaikai are trying to shift video game norms away from being played on consoles or PCs. Instead, the games will be streamed from the servers of their data centers and will be available 24/7. However, cloud gaming technology presents issues. Response and latency times from the data center will take longer. The images generated from the data center and the response time it takes after a gamer presses a button will take longer than it will from a console or a PC. In response to public claims that there is a link between playing video games and childhood obesity, movement-based gaming input devices have become a technological trend. The introduction and success of the Nintendo Wii was an indicator that consumers had an unfulfilled demand for a video game console and games that allow freedom of movement. Sony and Microsoft released their own versions of full-body movement input devices in response to the Wii. In April 2012, the U.S. President's Council and the ESA announced a joint initiative to encourage Americans to start exercising using video games through the Active Play PALA Plus Challenge. There has been a huge trend in online play, especially with other players. Online games can be free of charge, but are usually offered as subscription-based software and run on dedicated servers. In massively multiplayer online role-playing games, the publisher server is a dedicated server that accepts payments for guaranteed slots on the server. An example of such an online game is World of Warcraft, which has been the single most successful game for 7 years and has more than 10 million subscribers.
Competitive analysis of the video game industry. There is moderate or medium market share concentration in the video game industry. The top 6 firms that contribute nearly 60% of total industry revenue are GameStop, Microsoft, Nintendo, Activision, Electronic Arts, and Sony Corporation. Based on market share, Nintendo ranks in 3rd place. The competition level is high for this industry, and this trend is steady. The table on the slide summarizes the competitive landscape in comparison to Nintendo. It shows that GameStop is top with market share of 17.2% in the industry. Microsoft is second with 13.6% market share. Nintendo comes in third at 8.6%. Activision Blizzard is 4th place at 6.8%. Electronic Arts is 5%, and Sony is 4.7% of market share. New entrants in the market. Major department stores and toy stores have entered the market and are key competitors, currently controlling 12% of the total industry revenue. Walmart has an estimated market share of 2.5%, and Toys R Us has an estimated market share of 2.9%. Barriers to entry. There are high barriers to entry in competition and technology change. New entrants will need the financial means to gain any market share, which is likely unaffordable for startups. The cost of revealing new technology to a global market is massive. The cost of design and manufacturing are huge. Retailers like Walmart and Toys R Us are well positioned due to their size and finances to prevent new players from getting into their market share. The economies of scale allow them to price new opponents out of the market. However, there is some potential in the developers market of new entrants as the demand from consumers and publishers grows. With increased use of smartphones, an individual or a team of developers can develop games inexpensively for the Apple App Store or Google Android. Barriers to entry for the smartphone market are significantly lower. However, the market itself is considerably smaller, in addition to being highly competitive. Key external drivers. There are four key external drivers in this industry: consumers per capita disposable income, the amount of time consumers spend on leisure and sports, the availability of online services, and consumer sentiment on the economy. Consumers per capita disposable income is expected to increase in 2012, so definitely a definite opportunity. The amount of time consumers spend on leisure and sports, however, is expected to decrease slowly in 2012. The availability of online services is expected to increase in 2012, so another opportunity. And the consumer sentiment on the economy is improving, so that too is seen as another opportunity. How can Nintendo use these key external drivers? Well, Nintendo is planning to release a new Wii U in the last quarter of 2012. We believe this new Wii U will allow Nintendo to capitalize on the three opportunities that I just mentioned, as well as allow them to turn the threat with consumers spending less time on leisure and sports into an opportunity, because the Wii U, just like the previous Wii, will allow them to allow consumers to use the software and use the module inside their own home at their leisure, so they don't have to spend the time to go out and enjoy sports or even enjoy leisure activities. They can use this Wii U and with its online services to enjoy sports or other leisure activities from home.
Hi, my name is Bridget Cross. I'm going to talk to you a little bit now about the firm. Nintendo is the world's third largest video game company in terms of published and developed games. They have the highest market value of any video game company in the world and can claim ownership of some of the most influential video game series of all time as well. Who hasn't heard of Mario, The Legend of Zelda, and Metroid? The firm's unique business is based on the software-driven integration of hardware and software. In 1985, they introduced the NES, Nintendo Entertainment System, and sold over 60 million units in the first 2 years. As technology changed, the demand for gaming systems increased. Nintendo's research and development department created its first handheld unit, the Game Boy. The freedom of being able to take and play the game anywhere created a desire to purchase the Game Boy for both players and parents. Since its introduction in 1989, the unit has sold in excess of 150 million systems globally. Over the last 20 years, the company has created designs that often offer optimum graphics, units in a variety of colors, large screen coverage, new optimal disc instead of cartridges, more compact versions, touchscreens, cameras, Wi-Fi capabilities, 3D imaging, and the latest innovative of interaction software. It is clear the firm's dedication to innovative ideas and providing top-quality entertainment for its customers is what keeps them among the top gaming producers in the world. According to the corporate website, Nintendo of America has adopted a code of ethics that applies to all of its employees, officers, and directors. As set forth in its code of conduct, Nintendo expects those working for and representing the company to maintain a high standard of conduct, to treat others with respect, and to conduct themselves in an ethical and professional manner. Nintendo emphasizes courtesy, dignity, respect, and safety as corporate values and seeks to create an atmosphere of mutual respect for all Nintendo employees, temporary workers, contractors, vendors, customers, and visitors. Nintendo has stated very strict policy for its employees in all areas that deal with the ethical corporation of the company and asks that any violations be reported to the company. As you can see here, I have included a diagram of the board structure for Nintendo. Later in the presentation, there'll be more information given on the actual management and the day-to-day workings of the company, the firm, and the roles that they play in it. All the board of directors are Japanese, who have either served as general managers or directors of various other departments within the company. Collaboratively, they even own quite a significant share of the company's stock, and some have been with the company since late 2002. Nintendo has corporate offices located strategically in 5 different countries around the world. Each of these locations has its own marketing team that puts together campaigns based upon their area customers. Their target audience varies based upon location, economy, age, gender, and availability. Also, you'll see that in the next slide, the value chain management. Nintendo has carefully assessed the areas of the value chain management, and the firm's infrastructure is broken down into these following categories. They look at human resource management, technology department, and procurement. Some of the main concerns and areas that they look at are the financial policies, their accounting, regulatory compliance, legal issues, and also community affairs. Now let's discuss for a few minutes Nintendo's mission and their objectives. Nintendo's mission statement is very simple: smiles on every face. This not only applies to its customers, but also its 4,712 employees. The company's corporate mission and philosophy are clearly stated on its website, and it goes into deep detail about customer appreciation, commitment towards employees, and producing high-quality products. Nintendo wants to be the ultimate gaming console for people of different ages all around the world. Their continued research and marketing strategies help to keep Nintendo at the top of the latest and greatest technology-based gaming systems. Everything they do is focused upon creating innovative content. When you consider Nintendo's strengths and weaknesses, I believe that one of the primary weaknesses when investigating the company was, in the beginning, their board of directors and top management all consisting of only internal company employees that originated in Japan. This, to me, limited their ability to be able to focus on the different areas globally that they were reaching out in, not having accurate demographics, data, and wants of customers that they were hoping to sell their product to. So as they began to grow and began to go out and to expand their company, we began to see some of this change. Some of their strengths, I believe, would be their desire and their drive to be the best, and that keeps the company continuously researching and developing new innovative products. Not only are they concerned with growing to be the biggest and the best company, their commitment is also shown that the company continues to improve its employee benefits, customer health concerns, and also the environment with their recycling program that they have, and also their global partnerships. One of their other strengths is recognizing how the video gaming industry is being portrayed right now as a health issue, with more and more people and children sitting and playing games. So they've taken the initiative to create programs that will incorporate the family and also exercise as they play their games. Now we'll look at the financial aspects of the Nintendo Corporation.
Since 2009, Nintendo has had a decreasing revenue and net income. This is flowing down to the shareholders with a decreasing earnings per share. Nintendo and its competitors are at the mercy of the market right now in the economy. There's just no disposable income when it comes to buying video games and video game consoles. For the most part, that's decreased significantly, and that's really what Nintendo's feeling the effect of. Their stock price over the past year has fallen by 40%. Quarterly revenue growth is a negative 55.7%. Return on equity is negative 3.5%. These decreases have been felt for the past 3 years. It's obvious that it's from the economy, and the disposable income of consumers is just not on the minds of them to invest in gaming systems and leisurely activities. Although Nintendo's showing negative returns and decreasing net income, it seems that they're invested in the future. If you look at their balance sheet, property and equipment from 2010 to 2011 has increased, software has increased, and short-term debt has remained about the same. To me, that implies that they're investing in the future. They're buying facilities. They're buying and creating intellectual property. They're doing this all with cash reserves, which, if you take a look at cash on the balance sheet, has not decreased very much. So they're investing cash into their company without taking on debt. I think in 2012, when they roll out the Wii U, that's really going to add a spark to their earnings. Hopefully by late 2012, consumer confidence has turned around a little bit, and that will in turn increase the fourth quarter revenue for Nintendo. I think that the future for Nintendo is pretty bright. They've got the brand name to back up years of experience. Hopefully they will regain the market share that they've had. They will be a technology leader, decreasing their debt, and eventually their R&D will pay off.
Competitive analysis of the video game industry. There is moderate or medium market share concentration in the video game industry. The top 6 firms that contribute nearly 60% of total industry revenue are GameStop, Microsoft, Nintendo, Activision, Electronic Arts, and Sony Corporation. Based on market share, Nintendo ranks in 3rd place. The competition level is high for this industry, and this trend is steady. The table on the slide summarizes the competitive landscape in comparison to Nintendo.
The target market for Nintendo includes a range that varies from preschoolers to kids and youth, to families, and to non-gamers. Nintendo has created their devices with these groups in mind, and their game selections target these areas in the following ways. For the preschoolers, these games are centered on having simplistic controls, minimal amounts of reading, and they feature many of your kids' favorite characters who they can immediately associate with as being a fun and enjoyable experience. For the kids and youth, the games are more centered on enhanced audio and visual graphics and include a diversity of things that are happening in the games. The environment of the games are non-violent, and they have recognizable songs embedded into them. Entertainment for the family includes games that test their mental smarts, are very competitive, humorous, funny in nature, and require lots of movement and interactive involvement. So, if you wanted to say that these games have a weakness, I would say it would be in this area. And it's not simply a weakness in the design of the game itself, but in fact, to have the total experience, it may require plenty of room so that you are free of any obstacles that may be in close proximity to all the wild motions going on between multiple players. One of the most important targets for Nintendo is to attract new customers. Therefore, honing in on the non-gamers is a critical piece of their mission. So in order to better appeal to this group, Nintendo redesigned their controllers to make the ease of playing games easier and to ensure that the functionality were easy to understand. The next area of Nintendo's marketing plan that I would like to talk to you about includes its mix of components. The marketing mix includes products, price, promotion, and place, or the supply chain. When talking about the products, Nintendo has tried to attract more customers by enhancing their products, which now include motion sensor controllers, 3D quality imaging, and the ease of portability. When talking about the entertainment products that Nintendo currently offers, this can be narrowed down into two categories: consoles and handhelds. Their current console is the Wii. This was released in 2006 and has sold over 90 million units. The strategy behind this device was to offer a product that had great appeal to a large audience. To achieve this, Nintendo used a simple look and new controller design to allow for a more natural feel when operating. This console is able to play games as well as stream TV shows and movies through a subscription with either Hulu Plus or Netflix. The newest console, the Wii U, will be released later this year. This device expands on the Wii, but will offer a touchscreen controller, 3D graphics, and internet connectivity to allow for multiplayer functionality regardless of geographic location. When talking about portable game systems, Nintendo has come a long way since the introduction of their first handheld, the Game Boy, in 1989. Their most popular handheld is the Nintendo DS that was first introduced in 2004. This device has a main menu and games that were pre-installed. Since then, there have been several enhancements that now include a camera, MP3 player, and voice recorder. This fall, Nintendo will be releasing their newest handheld, the Nintendo 3DS XL. This portable device will feature a large screen, longer battery life, access to the Nintendo Network, which is their own internet service, and Wi-Fi capability. Now we'll discuss pricing. The price of the Wii is $250, which is $100 to $250 lower than that of their competitors. For their new Wii U that will be coming out later this year, Nintendo has yet to name its launch price. Up until 2004, when Nintendo released the portable Nintendo DS, most of their devices were under $100. However, due to advances in innovation and research and design cost, the launch price of this device was $250. However, due to not having a solid understanding of the effect of such a price hike, Nintendo sales suffer greatly, and within 6 months, the price of this device was reduced by $80. In order for Nintendo to offer a device that is substantially lower than that of their competitors, demonstrates that they are indeed aware of the implications regarding price sensitivity. To keep prices low, they use simple technologies that allow for easier game development. Now we move on to promotion. To entice the attractiveness of their machines, Nintendo offers a free game with each Wii device purchase. This game was Wii Sports, which just happened to be their best-selling game of all time. Another attraction was the availability of Wi-Fi, which could allow players to compete against each other and gamers across many geographic boundaries. When looking at the place or supply chain, Nintendo's supply chain consists of them purchasing many of their parts from different suppliers. Once these are received, all of their devices are assembled in Japan and then shipped across the world. Upon arrival at their destinations, these devices are tested to ensure that all configurations are indeed operational and then are mailed directly to distributors or directly to stores for customer purchasing.
Hi everyone, I'm going to talk about the SWOT analysis for Nintendo today. And as you just heard, that is a clip from the Super Mario Brothers game. When you clear a level, that's the sound they used to play. I'm sure many of you recognize it. That deals with their first strength of Nintendo, is their brand reputation and recognition. Many of us have heard of Nintendo, understand their characters, Super Mario Brothers, Mario and Luigi, and it's almost part of the American society for the last 20 or so years. Another strength is their debt-free status and their stable management. The company has been run by the same few people for many years now. They understand how the business works. They've done a great job in the past. They don't want any debt, so they can keep money available for R&D, new projects, new games, just so they can stay current with all the new gaming systems that they're putting out. Two other strengths I'm going to talk about in tandem is the Wii partnership with Hulu and Netflix and the Wi-Fi capabilities. The Wii was the first Nintendo system that had Wi-Fi capability, so you could be able to get online to shop, to play, to communicate, to surf the web. You could talk to other people. In addition, you could also get onto the Hulu website and Netflix website and download TV shows, games, movies, or other entertainment games that you would like to play while you're using your Wii. You don't need to use your computer. You can use the Wii in order to do this. Another product is the Wii U that's coming out later this year that's also going to have these Wi-Fi capabilities and the partnerships as well. The final strength I'm going to talk about is the price point. Specifically, the Wii has been priced $100 to $200 less than their main competition. This is a great strength. The price point, having people at a lower price point, always try to pushes out more units than those at a higher price point, unless you have something that does something much more spectacular, which the competition is. They're all kind of in the same level there. Next, I'm going to talk about a couple of weaknesses. The first two weaknesses, reliance on outside manufacturers and inventory issues, going to go hand in hand. Nintendo doesn't manufacture their own units. They have other companies that do this. This can kind of cause an inventory issues, supply and demand. When a new product is coming out, there could be a problem depending on the demand for it. So they need to really be on top of it and understand what the demand is going to be so they don't have a shortage. The second weakness goes with one of their strengths. They did have a stable management, but there's not a lot of diversity. Many of the top management leaders are Japanese. This could cause a problem going forward, maybe branching out into new markets, to the Middle East, to India, but time will tell on that. But they really need to diversify. Now we'll talk about some opportunities. A big opportunity that's coming down the pike, that's already here, is online gaming. The online gaming market is huge. There's a lot of opportunity. We all understand this. With the internet, you can go online and play games. You don't need to buy a game console. So Nintendo needs to combat that or get on board with that. So the opportunity is to get on board with that and make some Nintendo games, online gaming, where you don't need to buy a console and you can just do it maybe from your phone or your computer. Another opportunity is the Middle East and Indian markets. They don't really do a lot of work there, so those are two areas where they can expand. Both markets are growing, especially the Indian market. The internet market there has grown over 20 times in the past 5 years. So this means that younger people are getting online and they'll be more receptive to new video games and consoles and gaming systems. A final opportunity is the manufacturing process, which we talked about as a weakness. We can now make that an opportunity by having a better supply chain and working with your vendors to make sure you have enough product for the public. Finally, we're going to talk about the threats. The top threat I see right now is the smartphone and the tablets. Anybody with a smartphone or a tablet, the Barnes & Noble Nook, the Kindle Fire, or the iPad, you can go online and download games for free for 99 cents for very cheaply. One of the biggest phenomenons of online gaming is Angry Birds. We all see this game all over. There's merchandise, there's toys, there's pillows, there's t-shirts. So these Angry Birds are everywhere. Nintendo must understand about the smartphones and the tablets and how this online gaming is working and really get involved with it and embrace it. The next two threats I'm going to talk about is the volatile exchange rate and the weak economy. They kind of go together, how most of their revenue is outside of Japan, and they're a Japanese company. So they need to convert all of the revenue back into the Japanese currency, which, depending on the exchange rates, could be positive or negative. So that is always a threat if it goes, the exchange rates go the wrong way. In addition, the weak economy all over the world is affecting the gaming industry. People don't have disposable income. They're not spending money on video games. Another big threat is the short product life cycle of these gaming systems. 2 to 3 years is probably the peak of these video game consoles with the games. So Nintendo needs to market it, sell it, and make a profit all within 2 to 3 years, because after that, the sales of the units really drop off dramatically. Along with the short product life cycle is their competition. Sony and Microsoft are the two big competitors of Nintendo. So they need to understand what their competitors are doing, what games they're making, what consoles they're making, and really be a step ahead of their competition, because all of the gaming systems kind of do the same thing. They all have Wi-Fi, and they really need to understand their competition and really make better games and better game consoles. A fact with the game console, is the declining console market. In 2000, the video game console market was 80% of the gaming industry. Now, in 2011, that's down to 40% of the video game market as the video game consoles. So this is a real problem for Nintendo, because they rely on selling their consoles to people and then buying the games. So it looks like the future of the gaming industry is changing a little. So Nintendo really needs to stay abreast of what's going on and understand the market.
Nintendo's board of directors has a president, 3 senior managing directors, 1 managing director, and a chief operating officer. All are Japanese members who have previously served in various other departments within the company. While this management movement shows Nintendo's dedication to an internal environment, it doesn't reflect much diversity on the company's behalf. Several board members were intricate in planning the newly anticipated Nintendo 3DS. Because the board members bring multiple years of finance, legal, and licensing experience, they set the precedent for the company's success and failure. Nintendo's top management is the board of directors. The corporate level that serves directly under that top management are the various branches of the organization. The UK team, which is led by David Yarrington, the Europe team, who just added legal counsel Matthew Hill, and the US team, also known as Nintendo of America. The turnover rate is very low at Nintendo. This could be good because retaining employees, inclusive of their knowledge and skills, could save a company money. But it could also be bad because as top management gets older, appealing to a younger crowd becomes harder. Nintendo's top management has struggled to change with recent technology. It is imperative that they quickly develop a systematic approach to strategic management. The Nintendo gaming system has been around for many years. There are many customers who would like to see it stay for many more. Thank you for watching our presentation.